She was the original evil mother. Legendary case, epic case on court TV, public enemy number one. It was 30 years ago, and now we're talking about her again. I'm talking about Susan Smith trying to get released after committing double red rum of her own two young, defenseless children 30 years ago. I'm Vinnie Palate with Al Wunsch and Jonesy. And ladies and gentlemen, this is the Tangent Podcast.
It's Vinnie and the Tangents, true crime podcast. Vinnie has the blue eyes, Al cracks the jokes. Jonesy stays behind his shades, entertaining all the folks. It's Vinnie and the Tangents, true crime podcast. Load up all your comments, hit those super chats. Let's go smash that like button, so we can all have a blast. Vinnie, Al, and Jonesy on the job. They're the Sugar Hill gang of true crime. They're telling stories of days gone by. They take crime and turn into a good old time. It's Vinnie and the Tangents, true crime podcast.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are back. And it's not a Friday, it's a special Thursday edition of the Tangent Podcast. Great to see everyone. I was away for a little while. Then I have not been feeling 100% for a little while. I'm at about 65% today. Ooh. So Alan Jones, you'll have to, really pick up the slack. Great to see you guys.
65% of Vinnie Palate is better than 110% of most other broadcasters.
Whoa. I've been, just so you know, I was doing lip ups all night, so I'm ready. Doing my lip ups on the mirror, and I'm ready to go and ready to help out on this. And the question I have to ask to everyone is, what does life mean? Okay, because if you're sentenced to life in prison, doesn't that mean you're there for life?
No, it doesn't, apparently.
You know, I mean, I hear the George Harrison song in my mind on, like, you know, what is life and everything else. And I just don't understand that this woman red-rummed her two children. And I remember when this trial was going on and the FBI had that video of how long it took the car to submerge with those two children strapped in the back seats of that vehicle. It was 6 minutes before the vehicle was completely subsumed by the water. 6 minutes that those children were sitting there. Where's mommy? What's happening? Why is this going on? And I just, it just breaks my heart. And how this woman can get out of prison under these circumstances with this, it blows my mind. But I will say that the interesting thing is that, you know, we've done a show with regards to, a certain brothers who red-rummed their parents, and everyone
Menendez boys.
Exactly right. And everyone seemed to feel that, they should get out. But I haven't heard one person say that Susan Smith should get out on parole.
Well, double red rum of your own children, that's a tough one to come back from at a parole hearing, no matter how, what kind of model prisoner you may have been.
Well, I guess that the motto is that it's okay to kill your parents, but it's not okay to red rum your minor children. And to make matters worse, she not only red rummed them, but then she blamed it on, African Americans that put people's lives in danger. And that's the part that is even, adds the cherry to the sundae of disgusting when somebody does that and then blames somebody else, blames another, blames an individual, an African American. Oh, this is what happened. And then everyone becomes a vigilante and they want to find justice.
There was a case in Boston, wasn't there, of a guy?
Yes.
It had some sort of red rum on a bridge, and
Yep.
the original story that he came out with was that it was an African American
Carjacking.
that did it. Yeah, carjacking.
Yeah, but well, what was done here, and it's not even if this woman was a model prisoner.
No,
we
no,
saw-
she had issues.
We saw Leslie Van Houten, okay, who was one of the Manson family involved in 2 red rums, 2 horrific red rums that went on in August of 1969 under the tutelage of Charles Manson. But in prison, she reformed. She became, she served her time well, and she became a advocate. She became a counselor. She got her education. She did things that showed that she has been reformed with regards to what went on. Now, I know a lot of people think that because of the fact that it was a Manson situation, that person should never see the light of day. But Squeaky Fromm got out. Squeaky Fromm tried to assassinate a
How
president.
about Lenny? I know Squiggy got out, but how about Lenny?
No, it's Squeaky, not Squiggy.
Oh,
Squiggy Fromm was
poor
was her-
Squiggy.
was her
Lenny
cousin.
went on to like superstardom. Not quite superstardom, but he went on to work constantly for like decades and decades. And poor Squiggy got left behind.
and Squiggy was really the breakout of the two. Like if
He
you
was-
were going to
he
go
was the
Lenny and
funny one.
Squiggy, I was a Squiggy guy, right?
Yeah,
He was the one that
funny
goes, hello in the van. He would, it's like he was the one that would make the comments. He was the
Oh, he
lead
was
guy
great.
of the two. He was the
Yeah, he
leader
was-
of the two.
He was the
Yeah.
coolest.
But- I don't know.
How about the big ragu? What happened to him?
Carmine Ragusa.
Combine? Ragusa. That's right, the big ragu.
You know
What
I
was
go
the song he
from
would sing?
rags to riches.
Rags to riches.
At,
And he'd only sing the one line, right? That was
Right,
it.
right. That was
well,
it.
no one else would like. They would never let him sing any further than that. That was how it
I
until they did
saw
the talent show.
I saw him do
What?
that recently, or I looked it up when he passed away, and he's actually not a good singer.
The big ragu. Oh, was Lenny in Better Call Saul?
Yes, he was.
He was
He's
an
been
actor.
in everything.
He was
Yeah.
his
He
older
was
brother.
Spinal Tap too, right? Spinal
He
Tap.
was in Spinal Tap. Yep, he was in Spinal Tap. He was in all of those mockumentary movies by Christopher Guest.
Yeah.
He was in the one about the dog show, Best in Show. He was in the whatchamacallit, the Big Wind, which was about the folk bands.
Right.
He was not in Waiting for Guffman. That was the only one he wasn't in, but he was in all the other.
I loved all those. By the way, for folks just joining us, I'm Vinnie Palate, lead anchor, Court TV. Al Wunsch is a great attorney in New Jersey, also a former punk rocker, childhood actor, stand-up comedian, and regular on my show every Monday night. And Jonesy is just the radio legend, Jonesy. Now
And he's an historian as well.
he's also he's what?
A historian.
The Civil War to civil rights and all the revolution fights. World War I and World War II. I'll always knows who is who. It's this day in history. This day in history. History. Now let's listen to his story.
What's the story today, Al?
Funny you should ask that question. On this day, November 21st, 1945, okay, Justice Robert H. Jackson,
Justice Jackson.
Justice Jackson, Chief Counsel for the United States, made his opening statement in the international military trial in the Palace of Justice in Nuremberg, where they had put the Nazi bigwigs. Okay, this is the first major trial up on charges against crimes against humanity.
Where do you get a jury of your peers in a trial like that?
There was no jury.
You
It
go
was,
down
it
to
was
the,
a,
you go down to
it
the
was a bench
Nazi
trial.
Social Club.
It was a bench trial. And his opening statement was, civilization can afford no compromise with the social forces which would gain renewed strength if it was dealt ambiguously or indecisively with the men in whom those forces now precariously survive. And that was the opening line that started this trial that was 22 defendants, that big muckety mucks of the Nazi party. And by the end of the trial, 3 were acquitted, 1 by reason of insanity or was medically unfit for trial. 4 were sentenced to long prison terms, 3 was sentenced to life in prison, and 12 were sentenced to death, and they were hung. One of which escaped by a secreted poison pill that was given to him unbeknownst to the guards, and he died that way. Okay,
So I did not realize this. So the ultimate punishment, the D pen in an international court, that wouldn't fly today, right?
Well, it's interesting that there,
because the rest of the world tries to shame the United States.
well, it's interesting because the Soviet justice voted against D-Pen on every one of them. They took the position that they did not believe in that, and they did not want that. They felt that that was a proletarian, thing that was all capitalistic and this, that, the other thing. So they actually took a stand against any type of D-Pen. They wanted life in prison, and part of it was, we were also convinced that they wanted it because they wanted an opportunity to speak with these people and get information from them and get stuff that they could use down the line, because there was a mad dash after the war to grab scientists and other individuals in manufacturing and other things to get them to other countries so that they could help out. In fact, one of which helped put together a thing called Epcot, in Florida. And he was a Nazi scientist that was taken out by the United States, never went to trial, and had been known to be using slave labor to build the rockets that went forward for the U-2 and V-1 rockets.
You just lost World War II. What are you doing? I'm going to Disney.
That's exactly right.
The winners are supposed to go to Disney, not the losers.
Well, in this instance, he was a winner because he ended up, getting a very, very nice stipend and lived a very, very nice life. But, it went down the line.
They should have made him dress like Mickey and have kids like punching him in the crotch all day.
No, well, it's funny. They used to have a video of him when you went into Epcot in the beginning.
Oh, wow.
They showed, that he was in that video, and then they've subsequently.
This is Bizarro World. You're taking us to Bizarro World right here. Oh my goodness.
Time to get happy.
McSpunky's in the house today.
It's time to get funky. It's time for us to smile, because here comes McSpunky.
I always bring in McSpunky when it's time for a little palate cleanse, and we just had a little some World War II Nazis, so we're trying to clear the deck here a little bit.
Well,
and,
just so just so everyone knows too, that the man's name was Werner van Braun. Okay,
Van Braun. Okay,
Werner van Braun
sounds like a Nazi.
But okay, so I'm sorry. I yield the floor, but I'm going to ask for the floor back.
Yeah.
After
well, I just want to cleanse things. That's why we bring in McSpunky. He kind of just lets us, he grounds us. He takes us away from all the things we have to deal with in the world of true crime. But thank you, McSpunky.
Like a monkey.
Exactly. Thank you, McSpunky. Great to see you. Thanks for coming by today. And Al is back to the world of history.
Okay, now
And my voice is holding up, by the way.
On 11/21/1957. Now, see, these are all true crime because I mean, obviously, the Holocaust trials and Nuremberg was true crime. It was crimes against humanity. And now on November 21, 1957, Ed Gein, okay, is arraigned on the first of his accused red rums. Okay, does anyone know who Ed Gein was?
It sounds familiar. He was a serial guy, right?
Yeah.
Well, that's the interesting thing about it. Ed Gein, okay, when they raided his house, okay, and they arrested him, okay, they found certain things, which I think, and Vinny, I know you always get a kick out of seeing what's in people's houses and things like that. I always see you looking at the Zoom video, you're looking behind and seeing the pictures on the wall. But this is what
and another thing, Al, I was on a game show on Court TV called House of Clues. Jonesy, do you remember this?
I don't actually.
So it was a Court TV original game show, and you would walk into a house and you'd look around and try to figure out what the crisis or issue was within the house. And you try to just going through these people's stuff. And on this particular episode, it was at the point where I was co-hosting with Kimberly Guilfoyle. Yes. And she and I walked through the house trying to figure out what was going on. And what I missed, and thank goodness I missed it, because it would have been it could have been misconstrued if I recognized it. But next to the master bed on the nightstand were some blue pills. And this was back in the day, and I had no idea what they were. So I could not pick up on what the problem was. And the problem in the house was, the tension in the house was it was an older man and a younger woman, and he just couldn't keep up with her.
Obviously, he was after those blue pills. All right. So
I couldn't figure it out, so I missed the clues.
So now,
did Kimberly?
No, she missed it too. Although I did figure out that one of the people in the house was Asian.
How so?
Well, there were some clues. There was it could go in several different directions, but there was some artwork that I saw. There was out on the counter in the kitchen was a rice maker. So rice was a big part of seemingly of the everyday diet. And in the cupboard, there was a lot of rice. Could have been Spanish too, or Mexican or Latina or something. But with the artwork, I sort of put that together, and I was correct. And she was arguing with me the whole time.
Was the fact that the doorbell went ding, 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 ding.
Now you're going to get us taken down.
No, it's not.
That's I'm only kidding.
Japanese. That's a song. Okay.
Dios mío. I'm only kidding.
A woman by the name of Bernice Worden disappears. Okay. The last person to see her is this Ed Gein. They end up investigating it and they arrest him, and he gets arraigned on this day in 1957. The sheriff's deputy went into the house and into the shed, and on it, this is what he found: the decapitated body of Miss Bernice Worden, whole human bones and fragments, a wastebasket made of human skin covering several chairs, skulls on the bedposts, female skulls, some with the tops sawn off, bowls made from human skulls, a corset made from a female torso skinned from the shoulders to the waist, leggings made from human leg skin, masks made from skin of female heads. Mary Hogan's, this is another woman that disappeared that they then now were able to pin it on him. Mary Hogan's face mask in a paper bag, Mary Hogan's skull in a box, Bernice Worden's entire head in a burlap sack, Bernice Worden's heart in a plastic bag in front of Gein's potbelly stove, 9 vulva in a shoebox, a young girl's dress and the vulvas of 2 females judged to have been about 15 years old, a belt made from female human nipples, 4 noses, a pair of lips on a window shade a lampshade,
a partridge in a pear tree,
a lampshade made from the skin of human face, and
Oh.
fingernails from from female fingers. He was trying to make he was trying to become his mother, and he was sewing all of these things together to make basically a costume that he could wear
Hey,
as
hey, do you
his
think
mother.
do you think the Silence of the Lambs Red Rum character was based on him?
Well, it was definitely it was definitely based on him, because that's what was being done with that individual in there. And is it put the lotion on the skin, or then it gets the hose again? Then that was the whole thing on there. And so that character was also the character that the Texas Chainsaw Massacre was based on. Okay,
Wow.
so this character this individual had two things along those lines. He gets out of his trial based on insanity, and I guess looking at that house, you would see why.
That's
He
easy.
pled not guilty by reason of insanity. He was found mentally incompetent for trial. In 1968, believe it or not, he was found mentally fit and was tried by a judge, and he was found guilty. But then they had a trial to see if he was sane, and he was ruled not guilty by reason of insanity. Spent the rest of his life in a mental facility. So
there's the lamp. This is, I guess, a remake of the lamp. I don't think it's the actual lamp.
Yeah, probably not the actual lamp.
Kind of like what he was doing, and that's what he looked like.
And then finally, on another true crime aspect, but not for today, for tomorrow, November 22nd, 1963, JFK is assassinated. It's the 61st anniversary of that horrific crime.
We've got some great episodes. If you go to our library of episodes, we've done a couple of good episodes relative to the JFK situation.
And it's remarkable. It really dawned the age of us doubting government, because it's been that point forward that we don't believe it was Lee Harvey Oswald. We don't believe that Sirhan Red Rum, his brother, Robert Kennedy, and we don't believe also that we found the assassin for Martin Luther King. So it was the beginning of the end of trust in government on that day, cold day in November 1963, 61 years ago tomorrow. So just please reflect on that and take a look at our prior shows on it. We did delve quite deeply in it, and I am still a staunch believer that it was a single gunman.
Absolutely. And by the way, thank you to Gringa sending us a super sticker.
Nice.
Super sticker. Great to see. By the way, so I was away for a few days. There was a big legal conference in Panama, not Panama City in Florida, but the actual country of Panama. My first time there. So I just wanted to share with you guys, if you don't mind, I was going to share with you. I did a quick little tour of the beach by the hotel. Are you interested in taking a look?
Oh, absolutely. A stroll on the beach.
Yeah, so this is me doing a little stroll on the beach at the resort in Panama. Look here, this is the high tide garbage that just floats up to the hotel every day from the water. And when it's low tide, it's like all the way out there. Now the tide is coming back in, and it'll end up here, just bringing the garbage.
That's nice.
It was
nice.
pretty disgusting. Now, here's what
why are you in the water? That's the question I have.
Oh, so when the tide goes out, it exposes all of underneath, and if the water was brown. So Panama, I learned a lot about Panama, is shaped like an S. The people there are very proud. It's actually it's the richest of all these Central American countries. And if you look, the city, the skyline in the city is amazing. All the high rises they have and all the banks that they have. So it's a big banking capital for Central America. I'm sure there's a lot of Colombian money that goes in there and other places, but for Central America, very rich. That and the canal, they make tons of money. You know how much it costs to take your ship through the canal?
A fortune.
Take a guess.
Well, I have an easy pass. Does that work?
Yeah. anywhere from 250 to 1.2 million, 250,000 to 1.2 million dollars just to pass through the canal. But it's a money saver because you don't have to go all. It saves you, I don't know what it is, days of sailing, if not.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's months, but so they have some money. Now there's two coasts, right? So the canal connects the Pacific Ocean with the Atlantic Caribbean, right? So the Caribbean side has the beautiful beaches and everything. We were staying on the Pacific side, which doesn't. But the locals say that they're going to make a turn now. They've got the banking and all that. Now they're going to try to start to attract tourists to Panama. So the first thing they need to do, I think, is clean up this beach a little bit.
Well, the story of the Panama Canal is absolutely one of the most incredible historical situations.
Oh,
and
yeah.
Teddy Roosevelt going down there, and how we had, I mean, that's how we have a cure to malaria and everything else, because of the fact that the workers down there were getting, well,
the French tried to do it first. The French tried to do it.
Yes.
They couldn't do it. They lost 25,000 Frenchmen. The United States comes in, and what they did, and this was smart, it was engineering that did this. So instead of like blasting a hole through the entire country, what they blew up parts of it, but they also just flooded the land.
Mm-hmm.
So they have all these rainforests. They have lots of water. It rained when we were there for a few of the days. And they set up dams and sent the water a certain way, and they flooded out the land and created these huge man-made lakes. But what happens is the lakes and everything are higher than the oceans. So when the boats come in the ocean, they have to go into these little locks, they call them, and then they fill them with water, and the boats go higher. They go to another lock, they go higher, they go higher. Then they can float across Panama and through the canal, and then they have to be lowered to get to the level of the ocean on the other side. So it's really interesting. I was wondering, like, how do you dig out an entire country? Well, you don't. You couldn't. What they ended up doing was actually flooding the land. And that's, I mean, you go to Panama, I mean, everywhere you go, they're just telling you about the canal. Everywhere. Like, we went to this hotel to go to dinner, and there's a tour, and they tell you about the canal. You go to the canal, they tell you on the way there in the bus about the canal, and then they send you to a movie narrated by Morgan Freeman telling you about the canal, and then everyone else that you meet from there tells you the story. So it's fascinating. Great people. And we went to the old town, and the prices there are really good. We ate at a Michelin rated restaurant, right? So like top-notch stuff, $60 a head for
Wow.
like 5-star food. Like, this is stuff that if you went here in the States, it's you're gonna drop a couple $100 easy. So they're getting there.
And just so you know, I mean, it was Jimmy Carter that turned over the Panama Canal to Panama. Prior to that, it was United States controlled.
Right. And now it's under Panamanian control with a little help from China.
Yeah, a little help.
Little help from China. Jimmy Carter gave it to China. That's what he did. But anyway, so outside here. So if you look in the background here, every night you look out the window, because we face the ocean, you would see all the ships lining up.
Oh,
to go
cool.
through the canal, and they would all be lit up. It was really kind of interesting.
Mhm.
So that's it. That was my trip. So you want to see Susan Smith? She actually spoke. So let's take a listen to Susan Smith at her parole hearing. And here she is so keep this in mind. She's waited 30 years for this moment, right?
Right.
You have 30 years to prepare for this moment. And the fact that she's able to even apply for parole, to me, is outrageous for double red rum. But so it's like 15 years per red rum. And it was not an easy red rum. It was torture. But anyhow, let's take a listen. 30 years, and this is what she did.
First of all, I want to say how very sorry I am.
It's okay, Susan. Just
Who's that? Andy Warhol? Who is this guy?
Just talk with us.
I know that what I did was horrible.
All right, right out of the box, Jonesy. What do you think of that? Right out of the box.
I would have to agree with her. She makes a valid point that it was horrible. You're not coming back from this no matter what you say. You know?
Are you buying her? Are you buying? Is this real? Is she searching for a tear, or is she wiping them?
No, I think it's probably real, but it could just simply be about her and how she's messed up her life forever.
Yeah.
I mean, you could have that kind of reaction, and it has nothing to do with the kids. So it's real, but where it lies, where it comes from, I don't know. I mean, she would feel sorry for herself, right? And she would cry for herself. What have I done in my life?
It's interesting. I had a body language person on the show last night, and we reviewed one of her statements from 1994. A statement that we know was misleading and false, right? This is when everyone's still searching for the kids, and then took a look at the body language, compared it to this, and it was almost exactly the same. So the deception has, from her perspective, has continued. There's no change. Like, she's still in that deceptive mode.
Still crazy after all these years.
And never uses the children's names. I don't believe in her 6 minutes plus. She never says.
Do you think? Do either of you think that anywhere in the recesses of her mind, she had some false hope that she might get out?
It's funny you should mention that, because that's what exactly I was going to state. I like that some of these people that go in front of these, parole boards, do they actually think they have a shot? I mean, is when Manson went up in front of the parole board, you think he was like talking to his cellmate and going, "Should I wear this tie? It's a little too busy." What do you think?
I think he was just having fun.
He's gonna like set off the wrong vibe on the thing. Does your shirt look like? How's my eyes?
She's going to be going every 2 years.
Yeah.
And Al, that, time makes things less real. And I think over the course of time, things can change. Now, it didn't change for her at her first chance in front of the parole board, because her ex-husband was there. He was compelling. But who's to say 10 years down the road that, like, maybe he's not there, or maybe, he can't make it, or some change in his life, he's whatever it is. Like, I just think there's always a chance they can get out. And I point to the case out of New Jersey, the man who was on death row, waiting for the deep end. The law changes. He then gets a life sentence, but because there was no life without parole, he has the opportunity for parole. And someone who should have been sentenced to the chair or the gas chamber ends up going in front of the parole board time after time after time, and eventually gets released. So it's always possible, and that's crazy when you think about it.
You're talking about Trentino, right? You're talking about Trentino. Right. He red rum
executed a young police officer who was a young husband and father, and it was brutal. It was
Vodo and Tedesco, Gary Tedesco, Officer Gary Tedesco, and Sergeant Peter Vodo, and that red rum still has like rippling effects in Lodi. I'm PBA attorney for PBA, attorney for Lodi, and I mean that it was a horrible thing that happened to them at a just going in to see what was going on with regards to a club where there was some disturbance, and then they were stripped, and then they were
Bing?
No, it wasn't about a bang. It was.
You can get some nice. This
was in this late '60s. So it was a scenario that they were shot and killed, responding to a disturbance call at a local bar. It is something that has, as I said, Their pictures are up in the police station. There's a monument to them, and just two guys that were very well liked. And it was the Angel Lounge, actually, in Lodi. That was the name of the place.
And he got out. And he got out.
Yeah, one died. One was killed he was the only one that was captured. There were two involved. One was Red Rum in a gun battle with New York City police.
And the other guy turned himself in because he knew, because back in the 60s, if you were someone who took out a couple of police officers and they were going to find you, they would probably find you on the other end of a gun battle, right? So,
yep.
So you get the quick version of the D-pen.
He was smart enough to turn himself in. He did that. He was sentenced to Red Rum. I was sentenced to D-pen. Okay, then that was overturned in '72. He served 37 years in prison. It's just a horrendous situation. As I said, killing red rumming a police officer. The one police officer, Voto, was 21 years of age. He had been on the job for 1 week.
1 week. Wow.
And he didn't even have a number on his badge yet. That's how new he was. Okay. And I mean, what a horrendous thing. And then the other one was Sergeant Peter Voto. It was a senseless.
So there's always a chance with these parole hearings. It doesn't matter who you are, that at some point you could get out. So
see, the thing is, but going back again as to what I said with regards to Leslie Van Houten.
You love that girl.
I don't love that girl, but I do think that she did a lot when she made the best out of what situation she had.
Okay. I'll give you that.
And she bettered herself and bettered people around her.
You know what Susan Smith has been doing?
And that's my point. Okay. So
there's a couple of things she's been doing. She's gotten in trouble a couple of times, but she has these male pen pals, and she has like multiple, but they don't know about each other. And there was something happened where it was going to become public, and she was all upset about that because, oh my goodness, this one who I'm in writing to is going to find out about the other one. She's like, and this was the whole basis of what happened to the boys, is that she is cheating on her husband. And the guy says that he doesn't want to be with her because he doesn't want to have kids. The man that she's cheating with. Like, she's a serial cheater. Like, that is part of her DNA. That has not changed. It has continued where she is.
If you don't want to have kids.
She slept with two prison guards.
She's the perfect woman.
Yeah. She has slept with two prison guards. Now, obviously, they're the ones at fault. They need to be prosecuted for that because they're the ones in charge. She's not allowed to go anywhere, but she's like living her life just like she was before, living her life. And one of the things that they described is that she's actually popular among the other women in prison, which shocked me because of, what she did. But, I guess she's got a way of doing it. Let's listen to more.
And I would give anything if I could go back and change it. And I love Michael and Alice with all my heart.
Oh, she did say the name. She said the name once. There we go. Come on, you can find a tear. Keep rubbing.
Ms. Smith, were you under the influence of drugs or alcohol the night that you murdered your children?
No, ma'am, I was not.
Your attorney talked about working with mental health. Is that helpful to you?
Ma'am,
Mr. Thomas,
I hear you.
Mr. Thomas talked about the fact that you were working with mental health, and my question is that helpful to you?
Yes, ma'am.
Is that something that you would be willing to continue with on the outside if you were granted parole?
Yes, ma'am.
Ms. Smith, your crime took a lot of resources from the law enforcement community. What, if anything, would you say to the folks who worked so hard to find your children if you had the opportunity to speak to them today?
That I'm sorry that I put them through that. I really, really am. And I'm especially sorry to the drivers that I had to find them. I wish I could take that back. I really do. I didn't lie to get away with it. I really didn't. I was just scared. I didn't know how I could tell the people that loved them that they would never see them again.
She was scared. So this is the explanation for the whole pointing the finger at the random African American. In the case, I was just scared. That doesn't fly. That's I mean this happened over the course of 9 days. By the way, investigators were very suspicious from the beginning. Like things were not adding up. But you know they got to play the cards the way they played them.
No, and they did it. That was a brilliant way that they handled this too. And you know what was interesting was when they announced her arrest, you almost heard you hear a gasp of like the the press corps that was around there, because people wanted to believe her. People didn't want to believe that a mother could be this horrendous, this evil, and to do what she did. No, it was just a horrible thing, and then to put somebody else up as potential blame, you subject people to just a large number of instances where innocent people could be beaten, killed, or anything because they're talked about as the person. Oh, this guy looks like the one she was talking about, and especially it's just frightening to me. And to have that kind of an evil mind to do this because of the need for a date, okay, the need for her boyfriend. This isn't Sophie's Choice where it's a situation, that's a tragedy. This is just a horrific crime, and she has shown no real remorse. And she has not shown that she has grown in prison. I mean, she went into prison when she was quite young. And she has not done what Leslie Van Houten has done. And Trantino, to his credit, also was working very hard in the prison, had a little kind of problems in the beginning, but then basically became a model prisoner. And I'm not in any way advocating he should have gotten out. I know the Voto family, so I'm certainly not in the position to say that I think he should have gotten out. But I do understand what they looked at.
Right. What the parole board looked at. But what the parole board didn't look at was what the jury wanted to happen to that man.
That's true.
Right.
That's true. But that wasn't. But that was actually the problem. Was the Supreme Court got involved, and then they're the ones that basically.
Yes, but you don't have to grant him parole. You can deny him parole. You can always figure out a way to deny someone parole. You always can. You always can. And those families showed up every time, going through the pain.
And they still do. They were always there. Now that's the one thing about the families; they were always there. And the widow of Voto was always there. And and then the family members, the brothers, and everything. The whole family was law enforcement, and it's very it was just a horrific thing for these people to have to live through, and then to see him free. I can understand why they would be just horrified. But this one, I hope that her ex-husband, the father of those two boys, lives for 100 years and has his faculties and is able to go to every one of these and do what he did at this one, because I thought he was profound. I thought he was right on point, and kudos to him. I mean, she did more than destroy those two boys' lives. She destroyed his life too, taking two children that he loved and adored because she needed to get a husband or a new boyfriend that she didn't want to be the mother anymore. She didn't want to be the wife anymore to this guy. And I hope he lives to 100 years and gives us, comes back every time to talk about this horrific individual. Because this woman doesn't deserve to be released. There's nothing here. There's nothing redeeming.
No, I mean, to me, it's obvious. I mean, it's two lives. Number one, how she got a concurrent sentence, which means the sentences for both red rums are running at the same time. That's like a BOGO. That's like a buy one get one. It's a free crime. Why on earth should she get a free crime?
Isn't sentencing almost always like that?
No.
Well, no, not always. I mean, it's what you try to do as a defense counsel. You try
defense
to
counsel tries to do, yeah, but it's like it's ridiculous. Like if you take 2 lives, that should be consecutive.
Very rarely does it happen that way. It does, but in most instances, in plea negotiations, it's always going to be that. No, but I'm saying I'm talking about. The question was, why would it be done this way? In plea negotiations, it would be done that way. This was not a plea. You're correct.
There's no plea. She went to trial.
The judge heard an argument, and the judge went forward with it. I don't think the judge ever thought in a million years she would be getting out after 30 years. But that's, I don't know that.
She's not getting out. In 2 years, she'll be in front of the parole board again, and then probably 2 years after that, and 2 years after that, and it'll just go on and on and on. By the way, Gen X loving Al today on this day in history. Oh. Gen X, of course, one of the members of our famous Mod Squad.
Order in the chat. Order in the chat. Don't dare attack. We've got order in this chat. The Mod Squad is on the job, helping us to keep it clean. The Mod Squad is on the job, always so nice and never mean. So let's give it up and say hello to the 3 amazing ladies running the show. Gen X, let's make some noise. Frankie Figs, let's clap our hands. And Jennifer Subay, let's raise the roof. Order in the chat. Order in the chat. Don't dare attack. We've got order in this chat.
All right. Al, I hate to say it, but I might like this song more than This Day in History. I'm not sure.
Oh, yeah. Well, I love that song.
I'm just not sure which one I like more.
I like the song. The song has got like that kind of like 40s, 50s sound to it.
Yeah, for our classy ladies, Gen X, Frankie Figs, and Jennifer Subay, thank you all so much for helping us out each and every time. I want to get to the comments right now before we run out of time, just because, as you can tell by my voice, I got to keep it a little bit shorter today so I can still do the show tonight. Excuse me. I gotta switch to filtered, I think. What do you think, Jonesy? Should I switch to filtered?
The filters are what kills you.
Julie Frew. Hey, everyone. Hey.
Hey.
Hi.
Oh, hey. Wait, that's hey.
That's
what's happening.
Dwayne from What's Happening, right?
That's right. That's right.
Nice. I love
Rerun. Dwayne, Rerun, and Raj.
Raj used to be in the building at Court TV years ago. Like Fonzie would show up once in a while. Maybe they had the same lawyer or accountant or something.
Oh wow, I don't remember Fonzie showing up. That must have been on one of the primetime shows because I was
No. He wasn't coming to Court TV. He was just in our building. You weren't there that day, yes. Jonesy?
No. I wish. I love him.
It was like the Pope was in the building. Someone said, Fonzie, Henry Winkler's in the building. Everybody's like, what? Everybody runs to the elevator, goes downstairs to the lobby, try to catch a glimpse of the Fonz.
We had a lot of stars there, and who would get a crowd, and everybody would break kayfabe or whatever the word is, because we were supposed to respect them and leave them alone. Pro wrestlers like Captain Lou Albano and stuff, everybody, the kid and everybody would come out. We'd go say hello. I remember the day that Robert Kennedy Jr., JFK Jr.,
John.
Oh, JFK or RFK Jr.?
JFK bicycled. He used to bicycle around Manhattan, and he pulled up in front of the building, and he chained his bike up. He wasn't coming to court TV, but it was a 40-story building filled with like law offices and stuff. He was visiting somebody else there. Every lady at court TV was a buzz, and they were all running downstairs to the lobby and outside in hopes of catching a glimpse of JFK Jr.
Was he wearing bicycle pants?
I hope not. I hate bicycle pants.
He was walking up to a law firm. I'm sure he was not wearing bicycle pants. And let's just remember, he took, 7 times to pass the bar, or 8 times to pass the bar. And the last time he took the bar, he got to take it in a private room.
Uh-oh.
All right. Because the argument was that it was too much pressure when there were other people in the room. And he had a doctor's note that said he needed to be in a private room. And they had a proctor there and a guard for him. And so he got to take it.
RFK Jr. taking the test for him.
And he passed on the last time.
If he gets nervous in a room full of people taking tests, how's he going to do in a courtroom or a large law office?
Well, when you've got that name, you don't have to worry about it.
Yeah.
He's certainly not looking for a job by any stretch. He didn't go into law anyway. He ended up, with George Magazine.
Yeah,
he went into that.
Oh, I forgot about that. Yes.
Yeah. So, Ashley Bouchard, we have the Cape Cod Canal here in Massachusetts. They have a canal in the Cape.
Yep.
I did not know that.
And New York has the Erie Canal, and Seattle has a canal system also.
Now, is the Erie Canal actually 15 miles long?
And what do you get? Another longer and deeper in debt. Now, the Erie Canal is longer than 15 miles, I believe. It goes all the way from Canada all the way down, so it's longer than 15 miles.
Dogs discussions.
Erie Canal.
We have the Lachine Canal here in Montreal, Quebec. So they've got a canal up there too. Look at that. All these canals.
Oui.
Yeah.
And the great hockey team, Les Clubs de Hockey of Montreal, the Canadians.
All right. I'm we're a little bit behind I'm about 20 minutes behind on the comments, so just getting up to Anita says, now do you believe that Manson was crazy? Anita Mayhew Wilson says Manson was he crazy or was he acting crazy?
Hell yeah. He was crazy.
He was definitely out there because he had these very, very bizarre philosophies. And anyone who's taking, taking in the Beatle White Album as speaking to him for the purposes of starting over a world revolution in which the black man was going to be now in charge. And because they were not going to be able to run the place, they were going to come see Charlie Manson and elevate him to Supreme Emperor. I don't think that person is acting. I think that person is definitely a nut job.
And all he wanted to do was be a beach boy. That's all he wanted to do.
Yeah,
he wanted to write songs. Yeah.
He has writing credits on one of their songs.
He's writing credits on a couple of songs, not just the Beach Boys. He's actually there's a few other bands that have used his lyrics and music.
Who will ever forget his solo hit "Garbage Man"?
Yeah. Yes. By the way, McSpunky reminding it. Let's all do this. If we could all do this at once, those folks watching, if you're watching on YouTube, you're going to hit the like button when we say 3. If you're on Facebook, you're going to share it on 3. If you're on X, you're going to re-X it on 3. If you're on Twitch, you're going to re-Twitch it. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Hit it. All right. Thank you, everyone. Appreciate it. Thank you.
Oh, I like the way you said hit it.
So hit it.
Yes, that's Otis Day in the Night.
Otis Day in the Night, correct.
What Vinnie was doing sounded more like Rob Bass and Eazy-E.
Yes. Rob Bass. True Crime Junkie asking, was the ex-husband at the parole? Yeah, he was. Very emotional.
Very emotional. Smith. Excellent presentation.
Very good.
Straight from the heart, and who could blame him? There's nothing there that he said that sounded like it was manufactured or anything along those lines. It was truly from the heart.
Nicole Luongo, confused. Is this the first time she's up for parole in 30 years? Yes.
Yes.
But from this point forward, it'll be much more frequent. And the next time will be in 2 years. By the way, Gen X has a nice tangent for us, Al.
Okay.
Loves homemade bread.
Oh.
If a picture paints 1,000 words,
What's your favorite
why
bread?
can't I paint
Banana bread. Should we consider that bread or is that cake? Banana
Is
bread.
what?
That's like cake to me.
Right?
Well, what about the best of bread? That was my makeout album in the 8th grade. Baby, I'ma want you.
David Gates.
Baby, I need you.
Who's the lead singer from Bread?
David Gates.
David Gates, yeah.
David Gates.
Only one. Oh, I mean, that was such a side
Oh,
one. Side 2 was horrible. Side 1 was definitely the makeout album in the 8th grade.
Well, you were
It's
done by side
perfect.
2.
Diana Morgan Magda. My son wanted me to tell you he calls you guys the Palatangents.
Nice. I like that.
That's very good.
Yeah.
That kid's going places. He's got talent. I'm telling you.
When I grow up, I
telling you,
want to be a
Diane.
Palate.
Have your kid give me a call. We'll set him up. No problem. He could write
Very
the
nice.
next jingle.
Very nice. No,
All right.
but
I think people are talking about Thanksgiving because now I've got Gen X. Maine is steak fillet with mushrooms, shallots, brandy, flat leaf, parsley, garlic, and creme fraiche.
Huh. Doesn't
Okay.
sound like bread.
That's not bread, but maybe they're talking
Steak
about what
fillet.
they're eating for Thanksgiving, or I'm not sure what's going
maybe it's
on
the
here.
side 2 of the Best of Bread album. I'm just telling you, that's not as good as side 1. Side
That's
1 was
because you were done with your business by side 2.
yeah. That may or not be
I
true.
mean, after all, sides back then, vinyl sides back then were what, between 12 and 18 minutes.
Okay.
John
Amber E is from Lodi, California, but of course we're talking about Lodi, New Jersey.
That's
Yes, and
right.
You can get really good Texas wieners in Lodi. Does anybody know the place? There's like a wiener place there, which is one of the most
Hank's
famous.
Franks.
Yes.
What makes a wiener a Texas wiener? Is it just bigger? Like what is it? Like what?
No,
What
it's
is
pretty
it?
small. They're tiny.
They are, but what makes it
Yeah.
a Texas wiener? I don't know.
It's
Beats the hell out of me.
if
The
I'm not
toppings?
mistaken, it is the type of casing. Okay, it is a it's the type of casing and the spices.
Ah,
When
Very
you say
spicy
spices,
down
you
there.
mean spices in the actual
In-
wiener
in-
itself,
in
or on
dog,
the
in the
bun?
dog itself. Yep.
I am not a
Look,
big
New
hot
Jersey's
dog
got
guy.
the best hot dogs of any place in the world. There's
Damn
no
straight.
place better. There's no
damn
state
straight. You
better.
got your Ruts Hut in Clifton. You got your Maxes in Long Branch.
You got high rooms in Fort Lee.
Yep.
Okay.
Is
I
there
mean,
a
you
difference
can't go
between a
wrong.
wiener and a hot dog?
Yes, but I don't know what it is. I know a wiener is generally like I think they're smaller. Like, you
And
know,
are wieners
circumference.
connected to each other?
Uh,
Yeah,
I
there are.
don't, not when they sell them to me.
I have them where I buy them where they are connected to each other.
You buy connected wieners, and then
I
you
I
do.
never did
They
like
do.
that first bite.
and then when you get them home, what do you have to do? You have to circumcise them. What do you do to them?
You don't
Yes,
circumcise the wiener.
I do the bris and then I eat.
Although it would have to be all beef, right, for it to be kosher.
That's true.
What do you?
The
what do
kosher
you
ones are
gentlemen
not.
like on your wieners?
You know what? It's funny. The kosher ones are not connected.
They're not connected.
Kosher dogs are not connected. The non-kosher ones on, and I think it's because of the fact that the intestines that are used to
Oh, here you go.
the dogs, okay, are from pigs. So
You're gonna ruin hot dogs for me
Don't
forever.
ruin hot dogs. Don't ruin Josie's.
Vinnie's relatives used to say. Vinnie's relatives used to tell him never visit the sausage factory.
Exactly. By the way, my
relative
grandfather
that
worked,
owns the sausage factory.
my grandfather worked in the slaughterhouse.
That's why I told you never visit.
Never visit. So, Cozy Constellation, taking a look at Susan Smith. No snot, no tears.
Oh.
I think if you're legitimately crying, you're gonna get like this buildup in here that's gonna run. You're gonna have to blow your nose or something. You're gonna get that, and you don't have to wipe. You don't have to rub here for tears. Tears will come out. You don't have to go find them and search them. All these defendants are always searching. We should actually get a product that we should get for criminal defendants who want to faux cry.
A female court TV anchor was doing what we used to call news breaks back in the day, and every half hour we would have the headline news, maybe like a minute or 2 minutes of it. And she wasn't feeling well, and she started the 2-minute broadcast, and her nose started running terribly during the actual broadcast, and they had to keep going. They just kept going, and it was just building up under her nostrils. The guys in Master Control made a blooper tape of all of the reporters and anchors and things like that, and they had that on it. And then the program director at the time got wind of it and came to Master Control and confiscated it so it wouldn't get out to the public. Little tidbit for you of Court TV's past.
Well,
I did not realize that.
If you ever see the Laurence Olivier production of Hamlet, the movie, he has an onion in his handkerchief.
Oh,
and
yeah?
that's how he's able to curry the tears necessary to talk about the the horrible things going on at the time. So he puts that in, inhales it, and then he's able to conjure the tears.
Cool.
necessary.
That's kind of like when they put ice cubes on a female's nipple before they start shooting. They do.
Please send the letters
They want
to.
to make them pointy. I'm just
That's
telling
great.
you inside
Just remember, it was not Vinnie or me.
This
There's nothing
day
wrong
in
with that.
history.
Exactly.
This day in history. History. Lori Loves Life, paying tribute to, of course, we have the best mods. We got the best
Yes.
mods. Oh, by the way, I figured I would announce it right now that be prepared, folks. We are about 1 month away from the Tangent Christmas special. This is going to be the show of shows, ladies and gentlemen. It'll be the best show of the year, the most fun show of the year.
Ouch.
What?
A very Vinnie
You're putting a lot of pressure on us here, Vin. Why don't you say it's going to be fun? Okay, it's going to be fun.
It's going to be amazing.
An extravagant.
It's like the old Christmas specials back in the day, Joe.
Oh, great! Like Dean and Frank.
Yes.
Are we going to feature the Palate dancers?
I don't know. We're going to have. I think there'll be a lot of. It'll be a different kind of show. I think there'll be a little. I think we'll have a little bit of look behind the scenes of the lives of Vinnie, Al, and Jonesy.
And we could put Santa Claus on trial for breaking and entering.
Yeah, we could do something like that. There's a lot of different directions we can go, but it will be a very special episode. I think we may have to put it at a special time so we don't run into a time constraint.
Ooh. It'll be a marathon of 14 hours. 14 hours of Christmas.
Well, it's a special, so it's going to be. And I think we may have some guests.
Ooh,
Nice.
Will it
How
be
about that?
Dean and Frank?
I don't know, but it's in production. We should have a musical guest. It's a Christmas special.
Oh,
what? Al, you're not getting the boys in the band back together?
I'm waiting. I'm waiting for Crime Con to get the boys back together with the band.
Jones is going to book us South Side.
Can we have dish spinners?
Dish spinners.
Yeah. Guys who put dishes on sticks and spin
On
them.
sticks. That would be amazing.
And
the
we have
history
that little
behind
mouse.
this
We have
is-
that little mouse. What was
No,
the name of the little mouse from the Talking Ed Sullivan?
Um,
Had a Mexican name, right?
Tapu Jiju or something like that.
Yes. Tapio Jiju.
Did you ever have Chris's Red Hots?
Chris's Red Hot.
Red Hots.
This is
that?
right around the time we were talking about
Yeah.
hot dogs.
Well, I'm not familiar with that place. Is it in Jersey? Hey,
I'm not.
I don't
Mike
think so.
knows Chris's Red Hots.
Anthony
Nicole
Bourdain.
Luongo likes the Hebrew
Anthony
National.
Bourdain's best place was High Rooms in Fort Lee. Was there all the time. I would see him there. And you know who else I used to see there? Was what you would call it? The guy who played, who was the mobster in the New York mobster whose wife was sneaking on the in the Sopranos. It was
yes.
oh jeez. He was the New York.
Oh, the wife was sneaking the candy.
They're sneaking the candy, and then he cried at his daughter's wedding because he was in prison and he had to come out, and he had cancer in prison, and he started crying, and that's what ended up leading to his death because they said he was just too soft to be a mob boss. Johnny Sack. Johnny Sack eats at High Rooms all the time. I see him there all the time. He there. Tony Lip used to eat there too.
Texas Lady 1025 sausage.
Sausage.
I love sausage and peppers. You can't go wrong with good sausage and peppers. You know, you're sitting out there made for a game.
Now, what's the German sausage? What do they call it?
Knockwurst or a bratwurst.
Bratwurst. Is a brat the same as a sausage? Is there a difference between a brat and a sausage?
No, they're basically
I'm
the
no
same.
sausage expert, but I would say that it's a sausage, a variation of a sausage.
So you say sausage is like the big term,
yeah,
and then a subset within sausage is brat or brat.
Well, a hot dog is not a sausage, right?
No,
I don't think. No, is it? No.
See, it's a good question.
Sarah's Crochet and so on. No hot dogs for me because they have a habit of barking back in a not so good way. Yeah. I was off hot dogs for about a decade.
Really?
Picture this. You ready?
Yes.
Summer 1990.
Yes.
I'm working as a summer law associate at Grotta Glassman and Hoffman.
And they say, Grotta Glassman and Hoffman. That's a good law firm. I know that one very well.
You do. And they said, listen, boys, you're not working today. And at 11 o'clock in the morning, they give us tickets to the Yankees game.
Hey,
yay.
So we go to the Yankees game. We leave at 11 o'clock. Of course, we get stuck in traffic. We're leaving from New Jersey. By the time we get there, it's like 1:30. The game has started already. I haven't eaten all day. And I'm starving like Marvin. You get the hot dog guy to come over.
Hey,
and I eat 3 of them from the dirty water.
See, that's your mistake. You limit.
That's the mistake.
That's better than those soubrettes coming out of the dirty water there.
It cost me 3-4 days of my life.
Really?
I couldn't move.
Yeah,
I looked like I was pregnant. And then I was off the hot dogs for 4 years. I mean, a decade.
I limited myself to 2.
But I'll never get a stadium dog ever again.
Oh, stadium dogs are great.
That's what got me sick, Jonesy.
I got the Court TV seats at Yankee Stadium once and enjoyed myself a hot dog. The difference is I had one.
Well, what I'll do is I'll eat them maybe off the little, those things that roll and you look at the hot dog and it's just spinning around.
Yes,
It's not sitting in the dirty water. I got the dirty water dog. I want to get the spinning dog.
So that's like the Nathan's dogs. That's how they cook the Nathan's dogs.
Oh, who's going to be Santa for the Christmas special, Gen X to the 7th?
Here we go.
It's not going to be one of us. We'll have to invite someone on because we're going to have guests.
Oh boy, I'm getting nervous.
What's the matter, Al?
I'm just I'm planning. That's what I'm doing.
No, we're going to have a big meeting on the show. So start spitballing your ideas, write them down, and we're
I am. And now, wait, should we also announce that we're doing Wednesday this week because of Thanksgiving?
Yeah, because we're just about out of time. I'm sorry, we're out of time. Ashley Bouchard, thank you so much. Scare Alan Jonesy with Stephen Stern's moobs. That is so funny. Wait. Just wait. I can't let this one pass. I have to get something. 1 second. It just take me a moment to find the image.
And I need to know what Stephen Stearns is.
That's what I'm doing. Stephen Stearns is the one accused in the Madeline Soto case.
Oh, okay.
And da da da
Press 1.
da 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 da.
Oh, my.
There's his moobs. Da na 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 da na 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 na. We should invite both of them on for the Christmas special. All right, everyone's throwing up right now. I'm sorry. I had to do it. No. Okay, Gen X, you heard it first. Tangent Podcast next week is Wednesday because of the holiday, but I will let you know that I'm going to be in town, so I'll be doing some of my live streams throughout the holiday weekend. We may even do a Turkey Day special. I don't know. Why not? But we're working on the big Christmas special. There'll be a big promo that'll be coming out, so we'll set the date and everything. But we're like out of time here, gentlemen.
Well, when you say you're going to be in town, what town are you talking about? Your hometown?
No. I'm going to be, where I live.
Okay.
No, yeah, not where I'm from, but where I live.
You miss your cul-de-sac. I hear you were the toughest guy on that cul-de-sac.
Yes, indeed. Always am. I've been living on a lot of cul-de-sacs. Anyway, we are literally out of time. Al, where can people find you?
Well, I'll be at the Army Notre Dame game on Saturday. Go Army. And then Monday night, I will be on with Vinnie. Okay. Closing arguments, 8 to 9.
And then Tuesday at Yuck Yucks on Long Island.
And then I'll be at Yuck Yucks and Mr. Pimps in Brooklyn.
Jonesy, where can people find the international radio star?
Well, I'll be appearing at the Beacon Theater in New York City on December 1st. I have tickets to see Jesse Malin.
There you go. Fantastic. I'm Vinnie Palate. Watch tonight, 8 to 9, 9 to 10, 2 hours of live true crime on television. Thanks to the Mod Squad. Thanks to Al. Thanks to Jonesy. Say goodbye, Jonesy.
Goodbye, Jonesy.
All right, we're going to do that one more time, Jonesy, if you don't mind. One more time. Wait. Say goodbye, Jonesy.
Goodbye, Jonesy.
Nice. Hit it right.
It's Vinnie and the Tangents, True Crime Podcast. Vinnie has the blue eyes, Al cracks the jokes. Jonesy stays behind his shades, entertaining all the folks. It's Vinnie and the Tangents, True Crime Podcast. Load up all your comments, hit those super chats. Let's go smash that like button, so we can all have a blast. Vinnie, Al, and Jonesy on the job. They're the Sugar Hill Gang of true crime. They're telling stories of days gone by. They take crime and turn into a good old time. It's Vinnie and the Tangents, True Crime Podcast.